it's Paul from Alexandria Knife Sharpening and Laser Engraving. So I wanted to share with you something that I hope that most of you probably never come across this. I really hope you never have to do this. This is a Kamakoto Kuro. It's the Kamakoto Kuro series, Kuro series. They are black. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I absolutely hate this knife, and here's why. So basically, this is, and I knew this was going to happen one day. I only ran into one of these once before, and I cursed it the whole time then, and I'm cursing it now. This is basically, someone came up with the idea of something I really hoped we'd never see, which is kind of a super steel kitchen knife, is pretty much what this is. So it's some type of zirconian steel. It's very high on the HRC scale. I think it's in the 60s. And let me tell you, so the last person that sharpened this one actually changed its profile. I don't know how the heck they did it. I don't know what they used. They actually, and they sharpened it on the flat side, which is incorrect. So I had to fix that. And I have literally, I am not kidding you, I have at least 2 hours time in this knife. And this is a customer that brought in 30 knives. And I always loved, you bring in a big order like that, I'm going to try and make everything just perfect. But somebody reprofiled this completely wrong. They sharpened it on the flat side. I think they did it because just out of sheer frustration. Because if you've ever tried to sharpen one of these, they are a nightmare. You need diamond. You absolutely, in my opinion, want powered diamond. The only thing I haven't tried is CBN on a low-speed grinder. And let me tell you, I'm like this close to thinking about doing it, which is something I would almost never do. But on this knife, man, I am like very tempted to do it. So I have just been grinding away. I started reprofiling this with a 250. And when I got close to apexing it, it literally, like, the apex sheared off, which I've had happen before on knives that someone has overheated before, which may have happened to this knife since somebody reprofiled it. And like I said, I'm pretty sure what happened was they couldn't get it sharp. They kept sharpening it on probably the correct side, and then they got frustrated and they went to the flat side and started sharpening the flat side till they made an edge on it, and they were like, yeah, I'm done, and they called it quits. So, silly me, I'm reprofiling it appropriately to how it's supposed to be, so which it should be one bevel and a secondary bevel down here to the very edge. But let me tell you, wow. I mean, it is just taking me forever. And they really changed the profile. So I'm setting it back to around 15 degrees. And it is just horrible. So I hope you never run into this. But if you ever run into a black knife, because there's not a whole lot of black kitchen knives out there that are expensive, that are, and if you come into this one, it is a Kamakoto Kuro series. Be prepared that this thing is tough. And if you try and take like a Kubatron belt to it, it'll wear your Kubatron belt out. It's that tough of a knife. So you're going to need diamonds. And if you're doing it by hand with diamonds, like on a TSPROF or something like that, be prepared to be sharpening for a long time. And hopefully you don't have the situation like I have where someone changed the profile and changed the angle and and really kind of messed up the knife. So that's what I'm fixing here. But I just figured I'd share that with you because I cannot wait to see this knife leave the shop. All right, so a little bit more update on this particular knife, the Kamakoto Kuro series. So I actually ended up calling the owner because it was just taking me so long. And I told her, I'm going to need more time with these. And it was very interesting. I think you guys will get a kick out of this. And that's why it's not a bad idea. Like, if you're going to get into this, it's good to be into knives too, like knowing different brands and different knives. And that's why one of the reasons I'm sharing this with all of you. And this one thing I love about the guild, like, of professional sharpeners it's nice to have a resource for certain information. So I found out that the chef, sorry everyone, had a customer dropping off. So I found out that the chef had sent all her knives into sharpeners, and they sent this back and refused to even sharpen it, which doesn't surprise me because I am telling you, like, you will wear out a Cubitron belt on this knife before it ever gets sharp. The only thing I would attempt it with is some type of like power driven diamond, like a Tormek machine. I wouldn't even do it with hand diamonds. It's just going to, in my opinion, take far too long. And like I said, I've even considered, I considered taking this to a CBN on a low speed grinder to see if that would work. I don't think it's an expensive knife, but I don't think it's a great knife. Like I think it was a bad idea to have a super steel kitchen knives, because kitchen knives need to be sharpened, you know, kind of regularly, but it's also something that a chef wants to be able to, if they have to go to a hone and touch up real quick, you're not honing this knife. So I will show you, I have managed to get it nice and sharp again. It literally took, about an hour and a half, maybe even more. I might even have 2 hours into this knife. If it wasn't such a great customer with 30 knives, I probably would turn this down. I might even put on my website, I'll probably take a picture of this and put on my website, that if you need one of these sharpened, that I would put this on one of my hourly rate jobs. This would be a $45 an hour to sharpen one of these. And I got one more. Unfortunately, she brought it too. So because it's not on there, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to squeeze it in between all my other work. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you. And you will come across these things. It's pretty rare. Like I said, I only saw this one other time in the, in the last probably 5 years. I only think I saw one of these. Fortunately, I don't believe it's a super popular knife, and I hope it never becomes super popular, because I really don't care to ever see one again. But just wanted to share that with you. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to do the drawing now for the TSPROF Pioneer. So I want you to comment on what's the worst knife that you've ever sharpened or had a problem sharpening, if you've had one that you've run into. And if you haven't, if you're new and you don't have a lot of experience having sharpened knives, then just tell me what's your favorite angle for a kitchen knife. And either of those comments, put that into this video, and I will let this run for a few days, and then at some point, I'll, just like the last one, I'll stop it. We'll do a random drawing for the winner of this right here. It's still in the box it was sent to, but it is a brand new TSPROF Pioneer, and I will ship that out to whoever happens to win that. So that's my update for today. Wanted to share that about the knife from hell, and that's it. So have a great day, everybody, and I'll catch y'all later.